Welcome to the LA Confidential podcast. I'm Christopher Elliott here with Aaron and Aiden Elliott. Did you guys miss us? It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I really missed this podcast. It's been a lot of fun, though, that we've had over the past 2 weeks. You know, it was just so much, but it was so much fun.
It was so much fun.
And we couldn't get to the podcast.
Actually, you guys were sick. We should just be honest. You guys were sick.
We were sick like dogs.
You were. You were in bed, and it was like I was like, I don't think we should do a podcast because you can't even. Your voices sound like you have these deep, newscaster voices.
We were a little bit too quirky for the podcast at that time.
We are still in Cyprus. We are still in Central Cyprus. We've survived almost 3 weeks here now. If you can believe it.
What are you gonna do about it?
That's amazing.
Yep.
We have visited a lot of the island, and we'd love to talk about that. But before we do, this week's question of the week. Everyone else is complaining about the cold weather back east, in the States at least. It's raining, it's cold, and just every time I talk to someone, they say, it's too cold here.
Womp womp.
I know. And so I thought I would actually I'm doing a series for Forbes this weekend about warm weather destinations where you can extend your summer vacation. So our question of the week is, what is your favorite summer or eternal summer vacation destination? Something like that.
The place you go to escape the cold weather.
Where do you like to go to escape? Very good. Where do you like to go to escape the cold weather? And do you guys have a place that you like to go to, like where it's always warm?
Place where it's always warm?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a couple specific locations in mind, but I don't think that's like...
I know what you're thinking. Yeah, that's very funny.
I think it's a little...
Okay. Anyway, how about you, Aaron?
Too hot
I know you're not thinking. It's not a theological question.
My favorite destination to escape the cold is alert Nunavut.
Oh yeah, the coldest place on earth.
No, that would be Oymyakon, Russia.
Talk. You've done your research on this.
No.
What's the hottest place on earth, though?
The hottest place on earth. That's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, we do look at the weather map a lot, and it's like Saudi Arabia.
Isn't Death Valley?
Death Valley is, also.
Yeah. I'm gonna give everyone a little tip. There's a weather website called WX Weather Now, and they'll give you the warmest place on earth. Yeah. So I'll just go look that up for you guys.
Oh, okay, all right.
So, as I was saying, the hottest place in the world right now is Ondangwa, Namibia. 43 degrees or 109 Fahrenheit.
That's hot.
That's hot.
That's hot. I could get sued by Paris Hilton for saying that's hot. Did you know that?
No,
because she owns the copyright to "That's Hot."
Oh, I didn't know
Those
that.
two words together.
Paphos, Cyprus. Aaron and I went to Paphos, and Aiden was too sick to go. Poor Aiden, sorry. Yeah, you were. I know.
Womp womp.
But somehow you managed to get up and edit a video that same day, so maybe you weren't that sick.
I was sick.
Okay.
Don't question my sickness.
I do question your sickness.
I'm the only one who can question my sickness. That's offensive.
Paphos was interesting. We drove past Larnaca, where they had all the cruise ships, and we thought, this is not going to be fun because we're going to share whatever we do there'll be 1,000 people there. But then we kept going, and we went to Paphos, which is this cute little town on the southern tip of Cyprus.
It was crazy. It was awesome.
And Aaron, what did you think of it?
Paphos was really it was a cool city. It reminded me a lot of Larnaca, but it was a bigger city than Larnaca. And yeah, we took a tour there. We got to see some of the things. Definitely an interesting place to go for a day. And I can only say for a day because we were only there.
We were there, yes.
Less than a day.
Paphos Castle is a big attraction there. Nice medieval castle right along the water. Beautiful. Not too many people there. And then we went to see some artisans. We saw some pottery.
Yes, there's a place called The Place.
The Place, I know. Great name for a place.
And so we asked them the important questions in life, like, what's the most underrated thing in Cyprus? Right? What do you think is the most underrated thing in Cyprus, Dad?
I don't know. What is it?
No. It's your personal opinion.
Oh, my personal opinion? The most underrated? tahinopitas.
I think we've talked about those for the past, 2 podcasts already.
They're delicious.
You guys, I feel left out talking
I know
about
because you
waffles.
weren't there.
How about we talk about tahinopitas a little
Okay,
bit?
wait. Is there anything else that you want to?
No, there's
we had
nothing else.
a lovely day in Paphos.
We did.
Was there anything else that you thought is worth mentioning?
So then there is also Aphrodite's Rock?
Yes.
All right. So let me first answer the question. The most underrated thing in Cyprus, according to people at the place, is carob syrup. If you want a healthy replacement to sugar that tastes interesting, then try carob syrup. It's very good, and they make a lot of it here. Now to Aphrodite's Rock, which...
No, you can't tell the backstory to Aphrodite's Rock because it's an X-rated story.
I can't say, but I can tell you what some people do at Aphrodite's Rock.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of
on a
Russians,
full moon on midnight.
Yeah, a lot of Russian women come here, and they care very much about their looks. And so, what do they do on a full moon night?
They howl.
Legend has it that if you swim counterclockwise under a full moon around Aphrodite's Rock, you will not age.
Now, in reality, what happens is that a current will tear you off and you'll never be seen again.
Yes, the riptide will take you right out to sea, and that will be the last. Your body will wash ashore, which has happened.
Well, that's one way to not age.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, it works. So we have spent a lot of time exploring the city of Nicosia.
Lots of time.
It has been a very warm couple of weeks here.
Yep.
And 2 days ago, we explored the mountains, which are a little bit cooler.
Yep.
We went to a place called Troodos.
Troodos.
And our first stop was at a bakery. What did you find at the bakery?
I found a tahinopitas.
Can you please describe a tahinopitas for people who have not?
If you don't know what a tahinopitas is, it is the most delicious thing you can get in Cyprus.
It is.
I love them so much. Tahinopitas. It's so delicious and simple.
Okay, but tell us what they are, please.
They're so delicious and amazing. Okay, I'm getting to my point. Okay. Tahinopitas. You make some dough. You just make some regular dough. You put in an ungodly amount of tahini in it. You add some cinnamon sugar on top, wrap it all up, twist it around, really infuse all the liquids into that dough and make it nice and mushy. Roll it up, turn it around, proof it, bake it, eat it, love it.
Oh, you gotta
Make
push
love to
it
it.
down. You have to push it
You
down.
have to also press it
Kinda
after you're
compress
done
it like
wrapping
it's
it
a
up.
Pancake. Yeah.
But that's unnecessary to know.
And for people who don't know what tahini is, could you just explain what tahini is?
Really? People don't know what tahini is?
Tahini is ground sesame seed.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment. It is ground sesame seeds.
Okay.
And it smells like peanut butter, but it tastes sweeter than peanut butter. It is incredible. You can have it savory, you can have it sweet, even though I would prefer it sweet just because tahinopitas are the best thing in the world.
We're seriously overdosing on tahini pitas, while we're here. I mean, we've had one yesterday, we had one today, the day before.
It is such a waste that us Americans just sprinkle them on top of burger buns. Why not grind it up and put it in the burger?
And the irony is that across the street from us, there's a Cinnabon. I don't know how they stay in business because tahinopitas are so much better than
Well, they also
Cinnabon.
got Costas that are in business.
Yeah.
All the busy business Cyprus guys who are like, I need to eat at an international establishment.
Yeah, right.
Jeez. Yeah, right. Well, I have to say this. Tahini is not sweeter than peanut butter.
It is.
But they actually, you see that white stuff that they put on falafels? Yes, that's tahini.
tahini.
It's not sweet
I'm
at
saying
all.
it's you can have it in a savory form. But when I taste it, it tastes sweeter than
Yeah, that's
peanut
because they're putting sugar in the tahinopitas.
butter.
They put a lot of sugar in the tahinopitas.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, moving along. Now we know how to make tahinopitas. And my recommendation is that if you are anywhere near a Cypriot bakery, that you should stop by and check it out. But go maybe in the morning when they take the tahinopitas out of the oven. Don't go at the end of the day because it won't be.
And they're going to be
then.
crusty.
Yeah, because it hardens really. It's not that
Yeah.
good.
Like I should have eaten that tahinopitas that we have right now earlier because it's
When it
pretty
was still warm,
It's
I
pretty
know.
crusty right
Yeah.
now.
But I gotta have one piece of advice for you guys. You don't have to come to Cyprus in order to enjoy this. If you are more of Asia Pacific type of person, go to Adelaide, go to Melbourne. Melbourne has a huge Greek community, and they have Cypriot bakeries. And those Cypriot bakeries don't just have tahinopitas, but they have tahinopitas.
They have all the good stuff.
They have the good
other
stuff.
really good things.
Yeah.
We went from there to a little mountain village, and we walked along a path, and we went to a church and a monastery.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting too, because this monastery had old paintings and icons from, they were
Byzantine era.
probably 400 or 500 years old.
They gouged their eyes out.
Right, exactly. It was fascinating, but I guess, everyone loves to invade Cyprus. It still happens. And some of the invading forces didn't like the fact that you had depictions of saints, and they gouged the eyes out. That's right.
Yep.
What did you guys think of the mountains in general?
Mountains, nice mountains. It was all cool there.
Nice
Yeah,
mountains.
it wasn't much
Unfortunately, all of the little villages have now turned into large Airbnb colonies.
Yeah, right. Well, we went to a hotel, and it was very upscale. We had lunch there, and I thought, wow, this is, they were authentic. They had like a menu with items that you could get that they grew on the property and that sort of thing. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And there was a spa.
There was a spa that had a winter room, and it was amazing. How about you describe it? That was an amazing experience, by the way.
How about if I describe it? Okay,
room.
I'll describe it. It was, they actually called it a snow room.
Because it has snow in
It
it.
does have real snow, and you walk in. Apparently, when you go in the steam room, afterwards you want to cool off, so you go into this snow room, and you sit down, and it's minus 20 degrees in there.
It's minus 15 Celsius.
So, minus 15?
Yeah, minus 15.
Well, it's 5 degrees between friends. Right?
I think with Celsius, that's a pretty big difference.
Actually, I don't know. How much is negative 15 Celsius?
I don't know.
It's 5 Fahrenheit.
Okay. So it was cold. Needless to say, it was cold. But you guys had a lot of fun there. I think you were going to get into a snowball fight.
It was a little bit cold for that.
Big enough for that.
Yeah, it wasn't big. It wasn't really big enough. But it really was interesting because they had fully gone into that whole hot cold shower thing, snow room, and it was an interesting concept for a spa. I don't think I've ever seen such facilities in a spa. But I'm not a spa person, so it really doesn't matter.
No, you're not a spa person.
There's a line of people ahead of me to be spa people.
Let's talk about some general advice on visiting Cyprus. Who do you think should visit Cyprus, Aiden?
Greek people.
If you have for heritage, like if
you're Greek and you go to Cyprus, you'll meet a lot of Greek people.
So who else should visit? Do you think, Aaron?
People who really like Greek food, and this reminds me of a lot of things that I read about Greek food and how it earned the most Michelin stars in the world. This isn't Greek food, but it has all of the Greek stuff that you like. I remember hearing from one Greek person that said, "Oh, there's no good food on this island," but I vehemently disagree. There is a lot of good food on this island.
Yeah, I remember that lady that we talked to from the vegan place.
Vegan bakery.
Yeah, I know. Her food was amazing, but I have to disagree with her. We've had a lot of amazing food here.
We have, yeah. We've discovered some good places. Take and Bake is every day we seem to be going there.
We got to talk about Take and Bake. This should be a whole section of the podcast.
It's Bake and Take, Take and Bake, but it's it's a little fast food joint on the side of the road, and they basically bake Greek favorites, and then you take it back with you.
Yeah, it's Greek pies basically.
Yeah.
So they have potato pies. That's our favorite. It's spicy potato pies. They have spinach pies. Pitas are the same thing.
Yeah, and it's really good.
It's very good.
One thing I do like is it doesn't taste very oily.
I think that's processed at all.
I think that's the reason why Aaron likes it so much, because he looks for that in a place. And another thing that surprised us about Bake and Take, the place where they bake and you take, is they actually have probably the best tahinopita in
I agree.
Nicosia.
It's very good.
And the reason why is because when they bake the tahinopitas, they actually add extra tahini to the top.
Yeah, because when you make them, then the tahini kind of gets infused in the dough. So when you really want to make it special, you add tahini then to the top afterwards.
So you really taste it.
Really, really good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's, because we're going to go back there, I'm sure. Get a cup of coffee and a tahini.
I swear, we're going to leave Nicosia 5 pounds heavier.
At least, that's at least.
Oh yeah, well we thought that was going to happen in France, didn't we?
We did, and it may have, but I don't know. I didn't weigh myself.
Don't keep track
There's
of that.
there's another dessert that we still need to try here though, and that is the little Greek fasting pastries. You know those little
yeah.
cylindrical
We had
things?
those in Greece. They were delicious.
We haven't tried them here, but
Well,
they have
I
them.
know. They probably have like a
Tomorrow.
different recipe or something.
We'll have to
so
go tomorrow,
We gotta
yes.
try the Cypriot version.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the things that you need to know when you come to Cyprus.
Yeah.
One of them is, we mentioned this the last time, you can't drink the water. So you have to get, if you're in a hotel, sometimes they'll have filters, but otherwise you have to buy bottled water, and everyone buys bottled water. So you see trucks parked along the roadside with all this bottled water in them. Aaron and I saw it the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is the toilets. They don't really work very well. You can't put toilet paper into the toilets.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are two things that are very unusual. We have not found those yet in any of our travels, and we've been to a lot of places. Even in Africa, you could still use the toilets, but not here.
Yeah, and then also this place is not really very pedestrian friendly at all.
Yes. Don't don't try to use. Don't assume you're going to be safe on the sidewalk, because the motorcycles also use the sidewalk.
But it's not as bad as Croatia. In Croatia, people park on the sidewalk, and then the motorcycles drive on the sidewalk,
Here's the
and the
difference.
bicyclists go on the sidewalk.
So here's the difference. Here's the
Not
difference.
for people.
Here's the thing. Okay, here the only motor vehicle that you'll find going on the sidewalk, and this is occasionally, they don't like to stay on the sidewalk because I do believe it's illegal, are motorcycles. And in Croatia, you'll see full-on cars on the sidewalk. They'll go slowly, but it's an actual entire car on
I've
the
seen
sidewalk.
those. Usually they're looking for a parking spot. It's not like they're driving on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh no, they do drive on the sidewalk.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's, you can't assume, and I talk to safety experts, and they tell me that car accidents are actually the leading cause of tourist deaths, is people being killed in a car accident. And it's so easy to get killed in a place like this because they're driving on the wrong side of the road. Mm-hmm. They're all on the left. It scares the living daylights out of me.
British colony.
I know. God, gotta love them. All right. Our question of the week is, Aiden, would you like to repeat our question of the week for us?
What's the question of the week?
Our question of the week is favorite warm weather destination. Let's talk about. Let's do your comments from last week. Aiden, you want to do comments?
Let's do the comments. Last week's question was, have you ever visited a divided city? Well, let's see what people had to say about this. Dan writes, visiting Istanbul, Turkey a few years ago was very eye-opening. Divided by the Bosphorus Strait, it is on 2 continents. I spent my time on the European side and watched the sunset over Asia. The stark poverty and the amount of refugees begging for assistance was overwhelming.
Istanbul, we were there a couple of months ago.
Huge river right between them.
Bosphorus.
Betwixt
We did a
the 2
cruise
sides.
on the Bosphorus. That was fun.
Yeah.
We didn't really see the refugees while we were there, but
Yeah, it was winter.
It was cold. Maybe they were somewhere else. But it's a fascinating city.
Mickey writes, my first visit to Germany was not long after the Berlin Wall came down. We went to Eisenach, which had been part of East Germany. General Motors had just started producing cars there. It built a new factory next to the old Wartburg factory, which had closed down, and now a shell. Our hosts drove us all over town and showed us the checkpoints staffed by Russian soldiers, as well as their barracks. They were still there, but friendly. I went back a few years later and it was all gone. Checkpoints, barracks, old factory. If you didn't remember them, you would not know they had been there. Well, guys, thank you so much for your comments. If you really like the way that I, voiced that over, I have a cameo in case you want to hire me to read off whatever you have me to say. But this was a great podcast, guys.
Yeah, that was fun. We're going to be in Cyprus for 1 more week, and then we're off to our next destination. It's a secret. We're not telling anyone where we're going, but I think you're going to love the secret.
You're going to love it.
I'm definitely looking forward to our next stop.
Yep.
Until then, we'll see you later. Safe travels and be good.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
All right.